Welcome to The Fix,
the new way to get your copy reviewed by two former copy chiefs.
because whether you're an aspiring copywriter or you've been in the industry for decades,
The best way to improve your work isn't to read books, blog posts, or online guides.
it's to see real writing, your writing, being reviewed and improved in front of your eyes.
And that's the goal of The Fix, to bring you inside a virtual writer's room
And watch along as we review, edit and rewrite real copy.
from real writers like you. So let's get straight into this week's episode. And remember, if you like what you see here,
Please share The Fix with anyone you think would find it valuable. It is completely free. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Fix. Today we're going to look at another piece of billboard copy. So if you saw our episode a few weeks ago, we took a piece of copy that somebody had sent in to us that they'd seen on a train station, or I don't know where it was, but it was a piece of billboard copy, and we thought we'd try that again. Today with a piece of copy that I selected. I saw it on the way to the studio here in London. It was at London Bridge Tube Station. And I took a picture of it on my phone, which I'm going to bring up on screen now and talk you through it. Now, it's not a long piece of copy, so it won't take me long. In fact, I can probably read it twice. We've got time for that. Right, so it says, knock, knock, who's there? Crypto. Then there's an arrow to a QR code, and then the line at the bottom is Safu, which I assume is the brand. So it says, knock, knock, who's there? Crypto. There's a QR code, which potentially would give you more information, and then Safu. Now, Glenn, I don't think that's a very good piece of advertising at all, but it's been written, edited, paid for, signed off.
you assume.
Well, it must have been.
Yeah.
And it's also been put, so that's at London Bridge Tube Station, just as you come off on the Northern Line. Now, there's tons of people that come out of that tube station every single day. So you're looking at tens of thousands of people a day, maybe hundreds of thousands. I mean, certainly in the space of a week, you'd have hundreds of thousands of people looking at that.
Cost presumably would be massive as well.
Yeah, I guess so. But just from a pure copywriting level, you have a big audience there. You have a lot of people that can potentially see your piece of advertising. Now, I know that that's true at any point. If you write a piece of web copy, it can really blow up and scale. If you write something for TV, a lot of people can see it. But billboard copy is true of that too. Now, you have an opportunity there to put something together, to put something out into the world that millions of people are going to see, that could really leave an impression on them. It could be memorable, it could be valuable, it could lead to some form of action or a purchase. You know, if it's a really good advert, somebody might buy something at the end of it. Now, given all those things, given all of the upsides to advertising in that space, why do you think they went with knock, knock, who's there? Crypto.
Well, I think when all of those reasons that you say about making an impression, like getting someone's attention, giving them something to take away, I think that half a joke, that unresolved joke, knock, knock, who's there? Crypto, presumably it should go into crypto who or what have you. I think that does all of those things. I think it's a really emotive, I'm talking absolute nonsense. It's
I was slightly worried.
It's insane. I could sit here and you could film me for hours just kind of looking into nowhere and thinking, how has this happened? How do these, because this is not an isolated incident, like prominent spaces, with advertising that is, for all intents and purposes, meaningless. It's obscene. It is obscene in the world, in the big grand picture of things. Why has that happened? I mean, I don't. As I say, you could just feel, and I feel as though we should, in a kind of Werner Herzog style, just sit here and let silence
or we speed
pervade.
up, but it's like a time lapse.
Yeah, but no.
I would say, just before we get into the why, I would say there's two conclusions you can draw from a piece of copy like that, and both of them are positive, which will surprise you. The first is, if you're an aspiring copywriter, that's the standard that you have to reach or beat. And I don't say that facetiously. If somebody is paying for that and putting it out, it means that was the best they could do, the very best they could do. Now, if you feel like you could beat that by thinking of a benefit, thinking of the customer's wants and needs and desires and speaking directly to them, then great. What a brilliant industry to work in, where somebody who can do those things better than that could break into the industry. I think that's fantastic because it means the bar is extremely low.
Yep.
And but I think you should see that as a positive.
Yeah, no, I think
it's a fantastic
you're right.
industry that we work in, and if that's what's going out, then we can all do better than that. So that's the first thing. So if you're looking for your first gig or whatever, just remember that stuff like that makes it out. That's the first point. The second point is just that underlines the value of the copy peer review. No matter how you do it, there's actually lots of different ways you can do a peer review. And we're planning an episode in the future about how to peer review copy because you can do it in a really structured way or a really unstructured way. It really doesn't matter how you peer review a piece of copy. Something like that shouldn't be making it through. You know, if you, just on the most fundamental level, a peer review would involve you showing your copy to 2 or 3 other writers that you trust. They might not even be writers, it might be marketers, designers. It could be anyone, it could be unconnected to the industry, but it's someone whose opinion you trust. I don't think a piece of copy like that makes it out of any form of peer review, which leads me to believe that it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I say, like, we assume these things. Is it just someone who's gone, shit, we need to get an advert, we've bought a load of ad space, matey boy in accounts has bought this ad space, we need to get something out, 5-minute email, send that to the producer. I don't, because it's so obscene.
That can't have taken 5 minutes.
What, because it's such genius? It's taken less than that. But the point is, like, we could almost, I mean, we can. That's why we're here. Break it down. What does it mean? Knock, knock, who's there? So it's a joke, right? Okay, we're making a joke. We're speaking to a traditional joke. Knock, knock, who's there? Something, who, a punchline. You've got this, and now I'm being really, really nice to the people who've produced this advert. And I say people who've produced this advert specifically, not putting this on I don't think of a copywriter sat there writing this because it's just insane.
Yeah, it can't, no.
But whoever's put that together, you're talking about this joke, okay, it's got a QR code, so you've somewhere in that meeting you've gone, okay, we need to get people to like click on the QR code. That's what's driving this advert, to people to find out more. Okay, maybe this is what they've done. When people want to find out, what are the times when you have to find out? Oh, it's, like a knock knock joke. You've got to ask who's there. Maybe it's like that. Knock knock, who's there? Crypto. QR code. None of it. It's still just meaningless.
It's a joke without a punchline.
It is a joke without a punchline.
I would imagine that.
I feel like that's like insane, and like this is like a Samuel Beckett play of 2 men discussing something that is insane, which is then insane itself. It's literally rubbish. It's
the proverbial picture of a shoe.
Yeah, it's just nothing.
I would imagine if you were to strip it back now, right in the middle of that advert, if you ignore all the copy, there's a QR code.
Yeah.
Now,
it would be more interesting. Sorry to interrupt. Just to have the QR code and
what happens if you scan this?
Yeah, like that would be more intriguing.
Want to find out what happens when you scan.
Or if you said knock knock, guess who? Then you go on the QR code. When you get it, it goes crypto. You still throw your phone in the bin.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
It's just, but I think even that's not working.
I actually think now. I think you could build an advert around a QR code if you created an open loop hook situation.
Yeah, of course you could.
Now, I know that you could say a lot of people won't scan a QR code because they might feel. I think that's changing, but
I think it is
people might feel a little bit wary of that. I would ignore that because I'd say cryptocurrency users are going to be far more into that, going to be far more savvy to QR codes and stuff like that. They're not going to feel worried about it.
Sure.
So you could build an advert around saying, basically you want cryptocurrency users or the crypto curious, people for whom it might be something they're interested in, to scan this QR code, okay? I think that's the basis of a decent response mechanism. You're getting, once they've got their phone out and they're scanning the QR code, they're interested. You've got them to take that first step. Probably you can sell to them a different way, present something in a different way once they've scanned that QR code. So I think that's sound. Why on earth, if that is the logic, and I'm pretty sure it is, because why would it be there? I mean, obviously I didn't scan the QR code because no normal person.
2210.
Well, no normal person would they? If it has to compel you to do it, but as a response mechanism, I think it's quite interesting. So all your advert has to do is grab my attention, and then get me to scan the QR code if I'm a cryptocurrency user.
Yep.
Of all of the things that you could do, like what if it said, why have 15,143 Bitcoin users scanned this QR code in the last week? Or whatever, make it a social proof thing. Well, what's going on with this? What is this? There's loads of ways of creating. It's an open loop, isn't it? It's a hook. There's a million ways of doing that, but putting half a joke is very, very strange.
It is. That's what I mean when it's like, it's so, it's surreal. It's. Kids say it too much these days. Random, like everything's random. Almost random, but that really is quite random. It's you've if you were trying to like position eggs in a bag, forget that. That's a personal thing. I was thinking about random nature things the other day.
It's just not.
But it's so like, not who's their crypto. What are you doing? So, but let's, without just going, what? Bring it back again. You are going, so you're trying to sell crypto in something about crypto. We don't know whether it's a platform for trading crypto, a cryptocurrency itself, education about crypto. We just do whatever, but it's something about crypto. Now, are you going to people who don't know anything about crypto or do know anything about crypto? You've got to establish what audience you're going to first. You made
I would say they would be crypto curious.
Let's say you're going for people who are crypto curious. I would lean that direction.
So what motivates those people?
What motivates those people? Where are they? People who are already on that boat and already into that place. Forget the actual wider thing of what's going on in the crypto market. So anybody who's crypto curious is probably thinking, actually, at the moment, it's a bit dodgy, blah, blah, blah. Not dodgy as in a dodgy thing. That's a different audience you're going for. This is someone who's probably going to know a little bit about it because you've written the word crypto massively. If they don't, they're off. If they do, they're good. They already know with where it is. They're thinking, all right, is it a good time to invest, blah, blah. They've got a million questions. They're really aware of stuff. They're probably, because they are of a probably younger generation or younger leaning generation, and also a more open-minded, futuristic, like technology curious and what have you. They are not going to go, oh, not going to say crypto. That's not the same mindset of the, like, it doesn't connect with the audience.
You'd have to think of, I'd strip it back and say,
it's so far from being a valid piece of advertising that it's not advertising.
But our job, of course, at the Fix, to try and push it towards something that might be. So, I mean, yeah, you've established who that customer is. I think you're probably right. Actually, this brings me to a far more interesting point, which is that you, in fact, as much as you don't claim to know a lot about cryptocurrency, you actually bought Dogecoin in 2015, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I've got quite a few £1,000 from a £20 stake, which is very nice.
Completely random.
Completely random. I bought that because I was copywriting story. I was writing about crypto and wanted to understand how you buy it, how you do it. And so I bought some Bitcoin, and then for a laugh, because it had a picture of a dog on it, I bought 20 quid of Dogecoin as well and forgot about it. And then saw it on the news and go, oh, had a little panic like the man in the pizza box trying to find his in the dumpster, found it and was like, oh, I've got it. Oh, it's worth thousands of pounds. Nice one.
But so that wasn't my. That wasn't.
Yeah, sorry. As an aside, but it just shows why you should always research what you're doing.
Yeah, and why you need to get into the actual mindset of the person that might do it. So what, if that's our customer? What does I would say what motivates them? So they probably know that the cryptocurrency market moves on quite quickly. There's the whole FOMO thing, right? Fear of missing out. Mm-hmm. So the idea that something big might happen, something big is happening, and I'm missing it. I don't understand it. I'm behind the curve. Just on the most cursory level of using those emotions to sell. Now, I'm going to assume this isn't a cryptocurrency because you shouldn't push a financial idea like that onto people using those techniques. But if it's a wallet or a platform, if you're offering something new way into the crypto market, for instance, those are perfectly valid ways. Something big is happening and you don't know about it. That's a kind of that's not unique to cryptocurrency. It's an advertising technique. There's a million ways you could use that emotion, whether it's social proof or whatever, to generate a bit of what is that then?
Yeah.
Once you've got them onto the QR code, I think you're it. You still need a proposition. But yeah, to go back to it, I mean,
It's
using a joke. Here's one for you. Would you ever use a joke on a billboard? Under what circumstances would you use a joke?
I don't see. I think Drayton Bird writes on this almost every other week, but it's like I think using comedy in advertising and using jokes is very possible. For an instance, I can't. Well, actually, do you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the Cadbury's Gorilla advert. That's essentially a joke. That's a gorilla playing Phil Collins. That is a joke, but that's been used in an effective way for a reason. There's a big idea behind that. It's worth like researching about it online and reading about it, and the rebrand. That because they wanted to create something memorable, like that's going to get you something universal, but also something that repositioned the brand and brought out that kind of unexpected and what have you. So there are times, there are opportunities. There will always be opportunities where you can be playful with advertising, and advertising should be fun. Like that, there's no reason. That is a predominant emotion in our lives is laughter and fun and what have you.
Leaves you with a positive impression of something.
Exactly. So there's no.
It has to be funny then.
It has to be fun. Yeah, it had to be universally funny. You can kind of, or unless you are very aware of what audience you're going for, you can make a niche. Like if you were going for like, you could. For instance, an Alan Partridge based quote will get quite a lot of more people than a brass eye like day-to-day thing, whereas a Mrs. Brown's Boys, unfortunately, will get a much wider audience and what have you. So there's always things, but you can commit. So I do believe that's a different. I think it's a good episode to speak about jokes and things. That's not a joke. For a start, it's just a madness.
It's the start of a joke.
It's the start of a joke, without doubt.
It's the first 50% of a joke.
But I think there are opportunities to do that. Again, tell the joke then, like do something. Like it's just not doing anything. But I want to. There's loads on that advert. That's the thing. Actually, before I go into because we've got the logo, is quite a predominant thing of this company. You know probably more than me about cryptos. I know quite a lot about crypto. Yeah, I've never come across that company, and I dare say you haven't. And there's a reason for that, because they're paying money for adverts like that. But in that crypto space, if you're going to people who are crypto curious, and you're a new company in that space, what do you do? Why are you doing it? Why are you this new? Who was this new? There are so many angles to announce this new company to the world of crypto.
You have to elbow your way onto the stage at least.
So it is truly insane what they've done there.
Let's say it was like, it could have been, I'll make something up. It could be the biggest crypto exchange in South America. You're better off just saying that.
Without a doubt.
Just establishing yourself.
Because in the crypto world, we are still very much, depending on different audiences. I know if you're doing like in the world of Agora, people are more aware of crypto now. But in the general world, it's still so young. The Eugene Schwartz awareness level is so, you can still go, there's a washing machine, it's a magic white box that you put your clothes in there and it comes out white, and you're like, that's insane, like show me more kind of thing. Yeah. It's not quite like kids falling over and dogs running over you and all this kind of indirect stuff. What I think is, I want to say though as well about this, because we see here, we're criticising this advert, and I do believe it deserves to be criticised because someone's paid for it. It's wasted money. You've just literally wasted a load of money in the world, and that's never coming back. It needs to be criticised, but people might still say, I think anyone who's quite sensible wouldn't, but you could still say, but it's got you talking about it, hasn't it? And that, with bad advertising, I think a lot of people can strain to that. And I think a lot of CEO, a lot of bosses will always go, yeah, but it gets people talking. What if we just put, knock, knock, who's there, crypto? Get people talking, won't it? They'll click on the QR code to find out. No, it won't. We're only talking about it because we're really anal, like weird people who like looking at things. And you've seen an example of some bad copy that highlights a lot of points to discuss why you should write good copy. If
a world in which we on this show are the target audience,
it's
an intended piece of advertising.
Niche. There's no. Weirdly, tonight we're both just like signed up.
Have you? But like the whole, it got people talking. You can't level that at this.
No, but I think it's worth pointing that out because it's like, no, this doesn't get people talking. Everybody who sees that goes on with the day. You have a seconds to get people's attention on a billboard ad like that. And in an indirect world as well, because no one's really stopping, especially on the tube when you're running to catch a train. You stop, even like a young, look at us talking about youth, but even a young person quickly running back, oh wait there, I'll not get my train, I'll stop and scan this shit joke. Like, no one's doing that. No. So it's insane that you've done it at that point. But no one is stopping in a second like that. It's arrogant, it's stupid, but it's also arrogant to think that you can just do that and someone will do it. It's insane. And I mean, get in contact Safu, because I'll do it for half the price that you're doing. Like, it's
write the second half of the joke.
Yeah.
Bare minimum. I'd put, what would I put? My little boy's just learning about
crypto.
Knock jokes. What's his favourite one? Knock knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo. Who?
There's no need to cry.
It's a good one.
But that's still better than what they've got.
I've got a friend called Murderer John, who's he's an incredible man, and it really is. And we were discussing, because I wrote a stand-up set I've only got 2 jokes for that stand-up set. Maybe I'll tell you another day, not today. But we were discussing, he had a joke that his entire stand-up set was going to be, he'd come on and goes, knock, knock. You go, who's there? And you go, doctor. And he'd say, doctor who? And it was something around that, just mixing these 2 jokes to a meaningless thing, would have more interest
impact
to me than that advert. So
right, well, I think we should wrap things up there. Yeah. As I said at the end of the last episode we did on billboard copy, if you see something you want reviewing, now we've reviewed something there that we thought wasn't great, but I'd love to review a fantastic piece of copy, because of course there's loads of good copy out there, loads of good adverts out there. So if you see something that you like, do send it in to us, and of course send us your own copy, work in progress, anything that you want reviewing. I had a note from somebody just the other day saying, strangely asking me, do you do anything where you'll review people's copy?
Was it Safu?
No, and I said, yeah, there's that thing I do on YouTube. And
can I just say, I just realised we didn't even do it. They drew an arrow to the QR code, which already shows that they don't even think that it's going to make sense to themselves.
Yeah, may as well just have loads of arrows. Anyway, send us your copy. Send us copy you want reviewing, you want our opinion on, or copy that you're developing, and we'll give you some constructive feedback, suggestions, pointers, and we'll be a lot nicer than we were about that piece of copy. That's all for today. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, if you got anything out of this episode, do share it. We don't have a big advertising budget. Everything we do is word of mouth. So if you share this episode with just one person, then you're doing us a massive favour. Thank you very much, and we will see you for next week's episode somewhere down the line. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
And there we have it. We hope you got something valuable out of today's episode of The Fix.
Maybe it sparked an idea or two for your next writing project. Maybe it triggered a new headline, opening line, or story to tell your reader.
Maybe it inspired you to scrap what you have and start over. Or maybe it made you want to submit your current work in progress for a little constructive feedback. If that is the case, send your copy to us at feedback@thefixcopywriting.com. Or if you don't want us to review a specific piece of writing, send us a problem you're trying to solve,
or a challenge you want input on, and we'll do our best to help.
And remember, if you like The Fix, please do share it with other writers, business owners, and marketers.